Sportsnet.com.
We kind of look alike, I get it. Can you just, in the small amount of film that you guys have probably looked at them already, can you just break down what makes Aiden Hutchinson and David Njoku hard to stop, and what makes them different as pass rushers?
They're talented, they're fast, they're athletic, they're strong. I mean, they're everything that you would imagine a great defense end to be. And, they're a great challenge for us this week. It's a great opportunity. I mean, I think we've had a really good stretch of games here in November and October as well, that we've had like some amazing pass rushers that we've had to go up against as a team, and amazing defense we had to go up against as a team that have been kind of touted as like probably some of the best defenses in the country. I think the Big Ten this year has really had a great time showing how good of a defense we have in the Big Ten country, and I think that a lot of teams, including ourselves, have shown that throughout the country. So this is just another challenge for us, and those are two amazing and talented defensive ends that we're about to go up against.
Does it change preparation? Because I know, like George Karlaftis, that's just him. When it's two of them that you are maybe more notable names.
I mean, almost every person we play is pretty notable. I mean, like I said, like every single week we've gone up against amazing players, and although some guys maybe don't have the same notoriety as the other players that we're talking about, almost every single week there's always some talented guy that we're going up against that have an amazing moves and have an amazing skill set, and we prepare for them like we prepare for them every single week, which is we work hard, we have a great Tuesday practice, have a great Wednesday practice, have a great mental day on Thursday, another mental day on Friday, and get ready for the game on Saturday.
Front row right, Joey Kaufman, Columbus Dispatch.
Nick, last week you went through senior day. What motivated you to do that, and was that your last game at the shoe?
The reason that motivated me for me to have a senior game was because I graduated this fall. Right now it looks like I'm going to possibly graduate with possibly like a 3.5 or like a 3.7 for this fall semester. And with that being said, I should be done with all my classes academically for me to have my degree in business marketing. So I decided that since I was going to be graduating, that's the reason why I wanted to go and walk, because it was a testament not only to myself when I came here, that was one of the main missions, was for me to go and get my degree as quickly as I can, whether that had been 3.5 years, like we always talked about, or 4 years as well. But also it was a testament to my mom, because one thing that me and her always talked about was that I wanted to be the first male in my family to ever get a college degree. And that was something that I was really passionate about, and that's something that I strived for every single year that I've been here. And I felt like that was a testament to her, that I would give her the opportunity to see me walk when I got my degree, and I felt like this was a great opportunity for us just to walk.
Front row right, Austin Ward, Letterman Row.
Nick, I don't think you graded out as a champion last week. Is that Jerry's fault that he just left you off, or was there something last week that you didn't
Yeah.
That is Mike's fault.
Mike?
Yeah, I was about to be confused. I was like, I graded out 85%. I was like, damn.
So you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was like, dang, I guess something happened. I guess they checked the film back. Okay.
He wasn't on there. I thought that would have been surprising because you seemed like you played pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, the offensive line played well. You know, our team played well. Our offense came up against a great team, against Michigan State. They were ranked coming into the shoe and senior day, and it was just last home game of the season, and we all just wanted to play our best for our fans and play our best for Buckeye Nation. And I feel like we were able to do that. We came out rolling in the first quarter and the second quarter really well, and then we were just striving through in the third and fourth quarter. Our defense had an amazing game as well. So in terms of me playing well, I think I played well because the team played well, and that's usually how it goes, because we always talk about if you do your job and everyone does their job, we'll always do well.
Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. And I do have NPF down on my list of champions.
All right.
Well, the far left, Jacob Bench, the Lantern.
Hey, Nicholas, we talked with Ryan about how you're part of the #1 offense in the country. You're going against a defense that is top 10 in the country, top 3 in the Big Ten. Do you view this week as going to be the biggest challenge you've going against in terms of defense this season, and why do you feel the way you do?
I mean, I think it's the biggest challenge because it's a team up north. I mean, regardless of what they're ranked or anything like that, at the end of the day, this is one of the greatest rivalry games in all of sport. It's called the game for the reason, you know, and it's one of the most taxing and most energy that we ever give to any single game, any single opponent that we have, because we prepare for it for 365 days a year. So it's just, that's the reason why I would think it's probably the most challenging, because we know that they've been preparing just like we have, and we're here for us to go and try to win that game, because that's probably one of the biggest games of the year, and that's what makes and breaks our season.
When you're a part of an explosive offense and then you're going to go up against a defense that plays really tight, plays really well against other teams, what is the key for one of them to kind of prevail over the other, in your opinion?
I would say execution. That's something that we talked about a lot during the season. Just making sure that we execute every single play, every single time we get onto the field. Because when we're executing, we create energy on the field. When we create energy on the field, that's usually when we have our offense rolling, and that also gets our defense rolling as well. And whenever our defense is executing and getting stops on third down and things like that, that gives us energy as well. So it's just kind of a vice versa kind of like synergy between us. So I would say that that's probably the thing that I would attest to that.
Right next door, Brendan Gulick, Buckeyes Now on Sports Illustrated.
Nick, who is in practice this week? Who is repping Aiden Hutchinson or David Ajabo to give you a look at what you think you're going to see from them?
So that'll be our scout team. But I mean, so Tuesday we always have good on good, and Wednesday we'll also have good on good as well. So I mean, I'll be going up against Zach Harrison, Tyreek Smith, Javante, just all our defense DNs, JT, and then I mean just whoever's at the defensive end position when we do good on good, or even on scout team, they're all repping, giving us similar looks to what they'll give us, and also talented looks, because almost every single defensive end that we have here is probably some of the most talented guys in college football. That's something that we always talk about, like how when we go into practices that there's never a day that we go into practice thinking, oh, it's just an easy day in practice, because we know that we're going up against really talented pass rushers and really talented defensive players, because that's just how we recruit, and that's how Ohio State's been, and we always know that every day we do bring our A game, and that's usually how it goes on Saturdays as well.
When we talked with Zach, I asked him about how he has perceived the confidence on your side of the ball as you guys have grown. How have you seen the defense get more confident and play with more, greater emphasis, as the season's going along?
I think they really came together in just terms of communication and just becoming more one with each other. I see them always hanging out in a locker room and stuff like that, but I've seen them all hanging out a lot more outside the locker room as well. I think there's kind of bigger bonds that are being created, and like lifetime bonds that are going to go past just playing college football, that are more about not only when you play football, but like, let's say, academics, or also just life in general. Like, we've had a lot of moments here that maybe not a lot of people know about, that are kind of more internal, that have grown our team on the offensive side, and especially on the defensive side. And I think that kind of is a testament to why they're kind of rolling right now, and why they just seem like they're like going so hard, and why they're playing so well.
Fourth row middle, Colin Gay rivals.
Nicholas, we know kind of the challenge that you guys are facing in Aiden Hutchinson and David Ajabo, and I'm curious, what does the conversations look like between you and, say, DeWant, like preparing for, I guess, that challenge that those two players in particular face?
I mean, we just talk about the film. We talk about what we see on film, and then also once we get our playbook and we get the plays down, we also talk about, okay, what do we think their tendencies are? What do we think that we have to protect against so that our players are successful? So that's usually what the conversations between him and I are on a day-to-day basis.
Has DeWant kind of, molded into kind of someone you're like, yeah, this is someone I trust on the end to kind of make sure, because Michigan has a distinct pass rush, and a lot of pressure being put on the backfield, and has affected a lot of other Big Ten teams. So I'm curious, is he someone that you're like, yeah, this is someone that we can trust to make sure they don't get to CJ or Trevion in the backfield?
I mean, he's been starting literally every single game this whole season. And that was a testament to how he's been in terms of the winter, and then spring ball, and then fall camp. That's something that we as an offensive line saw, Coach Studd saw, and then also Coach Day saw, and we all felt that, you know what, he's been having a great time. He's been training hard. He's been doing well academically. He's been doing well socially with the team and everything like that. And that usually culminates into someone getting playing time, and then in his position being able to become a starter, and not only being a starter, but being one of the best players in college football right now. He's really showing out. And for his first year playing, like, I couldn't imagine him having a better season.
Front row middle, Nathan Baird, Cleveland.com.
Going back to what you were saying about the execution and how that kind of creates energy with the offense, did something feel like it got corrected between Nebraska and Purdue, and that's creating the energy you guys are playing with right now?
I wouldn't necessarily say that something got corrected. What I would say is that we executed better. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that can stop us is ourselves. At the end of the day, that's kind of what we say here, is that we're a good enough team for us to go out and compete, and for us to score on almost every single team in the nation. But the thing that can stop us is more about ourselves and how we don't, if we don't prepare well, or if we don't execute well during practice, or if we don't have a great mental day on Thursday or a mental day on Friday. Like, those are the things that can contribute to us not performing well on Saturdays. So I think there's probably been a heightened sense of focus in terms of every single day and making sure every rep counts. And I think that's kind of contributed to why we've been playing well and why we maybe sputtered a little bit midway through the season, but then we also picked it back up. As also is a testament to our resiliency and our ability for us to take one play maybe or one game, and if it wasn't the best game, to push it aside and say, look, we have another week, we have another opponent. We can't dwell on the things that go wrong. We have to improve. Whether or not we do well during the week or not, we have to improve and find a way to get better.
You were also missing Tyreek Smith for a good chunk of the season from those good-on-good practices. How has it changed those since he's been back?
I mean, he's gotten more competitive. I mean, regardless of the fact of if he was injured or not, or if he wasn't at practice or not, like, we still have to compete every single day. But, you know, this adding a Tyreek Smith to a defensive line like that is just adding another amazing player. Like, it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, the defensive line is probably one of the best in college football, and you're just adding to it. That's usually how it goes, that we never really have to, like, create a whole new defensive line. We always have great defensive linemen that come in every single year. And with that, I never really say that, oh, we need to add to the defensive line. It's like, they just added this guy. And although they maybe replaced a guy from a year past, it's like, no, they're not really replacing. They improved the guys that they already had. So the defensive line is still going to keep improving. And every single year they improve and get even better. And they compete even harder every single year. So that's kind of how I see that, is that although he wasn't there, we still had amazing practices. We still had hard practices against really good guys. And just adding him just made it even harder and a better challenge and more competition during the week.
Got time for just a few more. Front row, middle, Bill Rabinowitz, Letterman row.
No offense, but
Formerly, and then now the dispatch.
founder of
It's all about promoting you guys. It's been a long day. A lot of promotion out there.
This week's getting to you, Jerry. Your adrenaline will be high just because of the rivalry anyway, but is it extra going against, let's say, Hutchinson, just knowing that battle within the battle is going to be such an important part of the game?
It's the team up north. Enough said. It's the team up north. I mean, the best is the game. Like, that's what fuels this rivalry. And, you know, every single year names change on different people's back plates and stuff like that, and jersey numbers change. But at the end of the day, the rivalry will never change. This is a rivalry that's been long-standing, long before I was here, long before my grandparents were here, and it's this rivalry that is probably one of the best in college football, and one of the best in sports in general.
How long do you think you played this year? And in terms of Hutchinson in particular, his obviously a talented guy, but his relentlessness is kind of off the charts. What's the challenge when you face a guy like that, and does that kind of ramp it up for you, knowing that he's never going to stop?
Responding to the first part of your question, I think I played well. I mean, overall, every single week I'm always looking to improve. There's never been a week that I've said that I played perfect, and no matter what I had in terms of how we graded out here or whatever we did on the field, there's always room for us to improve. That's something we always talked about, that there's always room for us to improve as offensive linemen. And in terms of Hutchinson, I mean, he's just an amazing player, has an amazing motor, a great defensive end. I think he's probably one of the more touted guys in the country in terms of playing defensive end, and has great aspirations past college football as well. So just another great, amazing challenge that we were gifted and afforded, and it's just an awesome opportunity, and it's the game. So.
Right behind him, Doug Lamreese, Cleveland.com.
I hope this question doesn't sound silly, but for a team like Michigan, a lot of teams do this. Hutchinson and Ojabo are going to flip-flop sides, right? From snap to snap, I think you may not know who you're going to be going up against until they line up. In that situation, do you know, okay, now it's Hutchinson or now it's Ojabo, okay, remember, he likes to do this, I think he's going to do this. Or do you just get ready to play and then react to what happens? You know, like, how much do you note who it is that you're blocking on a play?
It's a little mixture of both. I would say that the preparation of understanding the opponent and understanding the person you're going up against comes throughout the week of practice, and that comes into the game. And then once you're in the game, you usually remember those keys and those tips and tricks that you had. But then also it comes with the football IQ of just playing a game. You know, you can never expect what the other side is going to do, and even though you maybe have keys and tips and tricks on the person, at the end of the day, you got to play football. The game's never changed. Is that two teams are going to go play, there's a ball, gotta go score more points than the other team. At the end of the day, that's all that matters. And you just gotta go out there and compete and play this awesome game.
And then weekly, you know, there'll be different data sites around college football that'll put stuff on social media. DeJuan Jones and Nicholas Petit-Frere didn't allow any hurries, didn't allow any pressures this week. Do you and DeJuan, I mean, with the way you guys chart stuff, are you and DeJuan aware of which one of you has given up the fewest sacks, the fewest pressures, whatever? Is there any little competition between the two of you?
We'll know in film. Like, we'll usually be told if we give up a pressure or a sack in film, you know, like, because we'll usually be told about it, and we'll figure out ways for us to fix it. But in terms of, like, all, like, the statistics and all the grade outs and things like that from, like, different sources, I mean, it's great, and it is very nice and rewarding to have people come and say good things about us or say that we've been performing well. But at the end of the day, as long as our team's winning and we win every single week and we're 1-0 for the week and we go on to the next week, that's all that really matters. And usually when you win, things like that happen because you win, you know? So if you lose, things like that won't happen. So that's kind of how we see it, is that if we keep winning and we keep performing, if we keep winning, we will perform well, and then the accolades will come with it. And we don't really harp on it, but what we will do is if there are issues and things that we can fix, we'll make sure that we fix those, and we make sure that we enhance the good and we fix the bad things.
Right next door, Tim May, Letterman Row.
Nick, did you ever play quarterback? I'm trying to remember. Ever? You
No.
always had the X on your helmet, right?
I don't know if we had X's. We had just a weight limit back in Pee Wee, so anyone could have played quarterback. But I think I played running back maybe for like half of flag football season.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I'm getting to here is, as much as you feel the pressure or whatever you want to call it going into this game, the build up, the quarterback has his hands on the ball every play. It really comes down to how that guy plays in these kind of games and stuff. And it looked like last week C.J. Stroud seized the moment like never before. What is your sense of your confidence in this guy going into this game with everything on the line, everything y'all are built for to this season, to this point? What is your sense of confidence in this guy compared to maybe going into that Minnesota game a long time ago?
same confidence I had in Minnesota as well. I mean, I've seen CJ from winter workouts and how he's developed and how he's became a leader, and I've seen him how he grew into his role during spring ball. I've seen how when we came back from spring and that how he worked out and how hard he worked during the summer and how he was in his playbook and learning plays and drawing up schemes and things like that, and his testament to the game and how much he wanted to prepare every single day. Fall camp, I saw how hard he worked, and I saw his dedication to the game, his dedication to the training room, the weight room, everything that it takes to be an amazing football player to prepare himself for the season. And I've seen him grow throughout the season in terms of him becoming a leader, not only on the field but off the field. I've seen him be able to handle the pressures of being the quarterback of an amazing university like Ohio State, or just the pressures of being a quarterback in college football in general. And he's been taking a hold of that, probably the best I've seen anybody ever take it. And just all of that culminated into him becoming who he is, and saying that he had an amazing game at Michigan State is just saying that everything that he's worked for this entire year has been showing up, and now it's all coming together. And I think that's what I would say to that.
And final questions, third row left, Dan Hope, Letterman row. Yeah. Dan Hope, 11 Warriors.
It's Thanksgiving, you know. Yeah. It's just trying to get to it.
Nick, just to clarify regarding the senior day, have you made a decision about what's coming after the season yet, or are you still waiting on that?
Still figuring it out. I mean, at the end of the day, my mission is just to keep winning games for this team, you know. And like I said, for the senior day, I just wanted to walk because I got my degree, and I felt like that was a good thing for me and my mom to have that moment and share that with each other, because that was something that I always wanted to make sure I got done. And I didn't want to wait on that moment, because I was like, I didn't really see the need for me to wait on capturing my degree if I knew that I was going to have it in my hand, and she knew it as well. So
For you personally, I mean, you haven't started a game against Michigan yet, even though you've been here for 4 years. Just how much does this mean to you to finally get that opportunity to play a major role in this game?
I mean, it's everything. I mean, we always talk about contributing here at Ohio State, and we always talk about not only contributing in terms of just the season in general, but in this game, in the game. And, you know, it's just amazing to be a part of the history. It's amazing to be a part of what it means to be a part of the game, and to go up against a team like that, and to have my name etched in the history books in terms of being able to play in a game like that. And it's just an honor, and it's a blessing, and, you know, just excited for Saturday.
Great. Nicholas, thank